So, I will admit, I've not played Bendy in the Ink Machine before, so all of my opinions are coming from the gameplay I've seen. Maybe that's a little unfair to judge a game based on what I've seen, but I'm sure I can understand how the game is like from the gameplay alone. If you disagree with that, let me know why in the comments. For now though, let me tell you how I feel about this game. Part 1. The story. You play as a character called Henry, who has been called by his old friend, Joey Drew, to investigate the workplace, saying that he has made something that he would like Henry to see. You go from room to room, gathering all of the items you need in order to progress. Eventually, you turn on the power and go to see the ink machine itself. Before you can do so, you're interrupted by Bendy himself, or should I say, the ink demon. This is where the horror factor of the game kicks in, and you start to understand that not everything is what it seems. Eventually, you encounter ink creatures who attempt to stop you from progressing. You even encounter some friends along the way, all of whom help you get to the now giant ink machine. There, you face off against the now fully monstrous Bendy, who does not want you to play that tape, the one that says "the end" on it. However, you eventually succeed in defeating Bendy, seemingly putting an end to it all, only for you to end up back where you started after a short encounter with Joey himself, thus starting the loop all over again, now with a tool at your disposal that shows you just how many times Henry has already done this. And yet he never remembers all of the previous times he's done it. Pretty chilling, no? Part 2. The gameplay. This game is a chapter-based game where you'll be doing different things in every chapter. Kind of like what Poppy Playtime is doing, except bending the ink machine is complete and Poppy Playtime is not. Anyway, let me get back on track. In the first chapter, you are simply turning on the ink machine. There isn't really much else you can do here, and the horror factor only starts once you turn the machine on. However, from that point on, things start to get more interesting, especially for those who enjoy the lore side of things. However, from what I can tell, the main gameplay loop of this game doesn't really change. You spend most of your time solving puzzles, accessing rooms, avoiding enemies, especially the ink demon, and progressing to the next chapter. There are a few moments that do break the loop, such as the boss fights and a few stealth sections, but those are few and far between. At least, that's how I feel about it. Part 3. The graphics. They went for an old cartoon style for the graphics, and honestly, it suits it perfectly. I don't have too much to say here. The graphics are really good, and I'm pretty sure it got an upgrade at some point, so extra points for that. Part 4. The environments. Each chapter of this game has a different environment for you to explore. You go from relatively normal offices to large open rooms to tight spaces, ink-filled rooms, and so much more. Needless to say, there is a lot of variety here, and I love that. Part 5. Conclusion. For a game I have not personally played, I can still see plenty of reasons to like it. It has a decent balance between exploration, combat, puzzle solving, story, and horror. While I do feel like they could have done a bit better with the horror side of things, that doesn't degrade the overall experience this game has to offer. However, I don't think I will be playing it, as I have seen too much already, and I also don't think I will enjoy it either. But if you still want to give this game a chance, then I say go for it. For now though, that's all I have to say about this game. I'll see you next time.